Alright, hello and welcome to Camel Finance. I'm your boy Camel and I have got some stuff to take care of today. So I didn't want to not post, so I'm just going to quickly go through the charts because there are some important updates from the charts, and then I will be back with the normal style of content tomorrow. I've built up a massive presentation. I wonder if I can quickly show you that here. Yeah, based on Bitcoin energy and its usage and the current energy crisis. So I'll be doing that tomorrow, but I've got to go out and do a few things today. So let's just get into this really quickly. I'm going to go through the charts because there are some major updates, but overall I just want to be clear about what I'm doing, how I'm trading, just so that you know exactly where I stand. So starting off with the dollar looks like it kind of wants to run higher. This is surprising to me. It has yet to break out. So if we were going to make this a trade, if we were going to say where do I long the dollar, well, a breakout above that blue line would be the trigger for me. So we haven't broken out yet. We could still make the argument that we've had a breakdown, a retest, and now a second retest of this trend line. I have personally never seen, especially this quick, I've never seen a parabola like this break down and then get recovered. So I wouldn't think we recovered the parabola, although there's a first time for everything, right? I think at the moment the dollar it's kind of just, it's bid a little bit, but I think mostly this is because where we are in the daily cycles for everything else. So if I jump up to the S&P, you can see we've been sold off quite heavily after this trendline breakdown. We kind of came up here and had a little retest or an attempt at retest, didn't even make it that far, and we've just been sort of puking ever since. We would expect the daily cycle low to form somewhere between day 38, which is the 6th, to 42, which is the 12th. So sometime over the next few sessions, we can start to entertain the idea that we might have found a cycle low. I'll move this to the middle, let's say about the 9th. So that yellow vertical line is kind of where I'd expect the low to form. I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bounce up in the meantime before a drop down into that low, but also the way the markets are behaving at the moment, I just wouldn't really be surprised to see this continue to bleed. I still think until we lose the lows, then the lows are in. I know that you might think that's not super helpful, but ultimately we'll get a better read on this once we form a daily cycle low, because if we form it and then go, then we know the lows are likely going to hold, right? And if we just sort of form it, bounce up for a couple of days, then roll over and take that low, then we can start to look at shorts. So for now, patience on the S&P from me, that's what you're going to be seeing, and the same is true of the Nasdaq and the Dow. I'm noticing we're coming in for this retest, this horizontal, where we took this trade initially from. But again, I want to see where the S&P cycle forms. VIX, I've been long the VIX. VIX is doing okay. Probably going to take the risk off of this trade. I don't really need any risk on this trade, so I'll make sure I do that before I go out in just a minute. So worst case scenario, be out at break even, although that would still technically be a loss for me if I was to get out down here, because the charges on holding a position like this open for me as a spread better are massive. So this is fine. Hopefully I'm going to continue to push this into around the 9th, which is where the S&P cycle low, as I said, should form. So I'm going to continue to push this trade and see if I can get up here, because that would be really good. Then I think a trend line breakdown for me would be an exit here. Something like, you could probably draw this a number of ways. Something like this. When we break this trend line, I will jump out and take the profit, I think. So that's the VIX. UKX, patience. Another breakout and we can entertain another one of these trades. But again, patience. Real is just hanging down on support. I really don't like this, but I think potentially we can get a long from down here once the S&P forms a cycle low. Oil, look at this. Look, we didn't take the trade. Said we might come in for this retest. I still don't believe this at the moment. There's nothing wrong with letting trades get away from you. If I choose not to take this trade, then and it blasts up here, well, so what, right? You can always find another trade. You don't have to overtrade. You don't have to push for things. You don't have to go chasing things. So I still don't have the best read on oil. If it does something I know and I like, then I will update and let you know. But for now, we're just kind of watching this, trying to get a better read on it. This price action tells me this is kind of a bull trap before taking out these lows. So maybe we've got a bit lower to go yet. Gold looking a bit painful. I was thinking, you know, when we were back here, I called this undercut of the lows, and I thought that if we could get a swing form here, a nice big green candle, that would be a perfect entry. It seems to just want to keep bleeding at the moment, so that's not a good look from me. Not an add at this point. To be honest, it feels like this is going to end up being a stop. So, but that's fine. I'm not going to worry about that. I'll let my stop do the worrying. The risk is managed for a reason, of course. So we'll see if we get stopped out. If we get a nice decent push, like a big green candle over the next day or two, we can call that a swing with an undercut of the low and continue to add. But for now, this is looking weak, and there's not much else I can say about it. Silver's looking even weaker. Looks like we're going to pay a stop on this one any second now, basically. So that's fine. It is what it is. And therefore, I would probably suspect this is going to gap down later when we open up, and that will be another stop, but that's okay as well. So I'll continue to update on this, but obviously you can see where the stops are. If I get stopped, then you'll know. Bitcoin is, I don't know, to me this is just no man's land, isn't it? Like, we've come back down here retesting the lows. A lot of people are super bearish, think we're going to 12k, or I've seen some 5k calls. So I mean, anything can happen. It's a market, but I don't think so. I think from here we're either just going to grind sideways and drop into this low, or get some sort of little bounce, then drop into this 60-day cycle low, anywhere around 6 days of this line, 6 days either side. And then I think we can get a long going on. So I think we're close enough now to entertain that we can say we're going to line this up. So this is the sort of thing I'm going to be looking for the next trade. Where it comes remains to be seen. Could be down here, it could be up here. We'll see how that goes. But around the date for now, next long for Bitcoin, a little bit of patience, and I think we'll get a decent trade. The same is true of Ethereum. We'll move this, that's already there, that's the right place. So yeah, where will it do? I think maybe we get rejected, drop into this 60-day cycle low, and then we can set up a long, something like, I don't know, something like this. So again, I'll update as and when we get there, but for now I'm just going to play patient. I don't think there's any need to rush. I could see it faking out of this line and then dropping down into that cycle low, but ultimately I want to see Bitcoin find a swing at its 60-day cycle low before I move on. And lastly, the 10-year yield is breaking out. So this is undeniably a breakout now. It's working on moving higher. I would think these are going to run higher in the short term, and then perhaps we can get some dovish hints from the Fed at the Fed meeting, or of course there's always the possibility that the Fed's just going to blow everything up. If you want to see the full deep dive of the blow up, then that was my last video. You can go back and watch that from a couple of days ago. But overall, I would say yields are breaking out. This is going to put pressure on everything. I think we're already seeing the pressure on everything. Don't know what the futures look like at the moment. Red in Europe, slightly green in the US. So anyway, that's the update. I think ultimately it's all about patience from me at the moment, but we can certainly get some trades coming up in the next, say, 9 to 14 days. I think then there'll be many more entries. I will make sure I update on the gold positions and the silver positions to let you know what happens there. Other than that, patience across the board, and I will be back with this big energy presentation for you tomorrow. So make sure you're subscribed if you want to see that and turn the notifications on. Drop a like on the video today, help me out. And until next time, I'm your boy Camel. Take care, all the best. Cheers, bye.